Welcome to 301 Banter, a show having conversations with the finest athletes across Minnesota. We delve into the trials and tribulations of the athletes, coaches, and broadcasters that make the sports world in Minnesota tick. So whether you're a diehard sports fan or just curious to learn about different people, join us for discussions and behind-the-scenes glimpses into Minnesota's vibrant sports community.
Today's guest is the first guest to make their second appearance on 301 Banter. She grew up playing basketball at Wayzata High School before taking on the challenges of being a student athlete while training for the military at the United States Naval Academy. Over 4 seasons with the Shipmen, she appeared in 96 games, starting nearly half of them, and contributed on both ends of the floor as a steady and reliable guard. Since graduating, she's continued to blaze her own trail, now serving as a United States Navy officer and training to become a helicopter pilot. From the hardwood to the cockpit, she's proven that hard work, discipline, and perseverance can take you just about anywhere. Mimi Schrader joins 301 Banter again right now. All right, Mimi Schrader joining the show for the second time. Again, the first person to join for a second time. So welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Charlie. Excited to be back, first returner.
All right, so I didn't ask you this last time, and this is a question that I ask a lot of guests. So what initially drew you to the sport of basketball?
So I started playing basketball, I think in second grade, and we always had a hoop up in the cul-de-sac that I grew up in. And so I think my initial draw into just sports in general was my older brother Sam, that we all know and love. And him and his friends would always be out playing basketball. And as the younger sister, I always wanted to try to play with them. And so that's what initially kind of drew me into sports. Basically, just the idea of wanting to keep up with my older brother. And then I actually really enjoyed playing basketball and started playing on teams. And we played on we called it carpet league basketball, and dad was my coach. And yeah, from there I started playing travel, and it just kept going from that point on. So I think the initial kind of competitive edge that I found through sports was from Sam. Yeah, actually.
Yeah, I feel like for all the people I've talked to through this series and this show, a lot of, or most, if not all of them, are not the oldest sibling.
Yeah.
And they either, played, we'll say past high school, either college and or pro, because they had their older siblings to compete with. And
Right. Have them
so
beat up on them a little bit.
yeah, so
In their place.
as an oldest sibling, I always like to say your success wouldn't be possible without me. So I'm basically responsible for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's there's
Louis the
no
hockey
other
player he is because of you, Charlie.
there's no other reason. It's not the hours
Exactly.
that he spent by himself. No, it's no other reason.
I like
Uh,
that. I like that.
so yeah, and you answered it a little bit with that first one, but you obviously you're a triplet and you have older brother, younger sister too, and how did playing with them shape you as a player throughout your career?
I mean, I would just say it made everything better. People always ask if my sisters and I played on the same teams growing up, and I obviously loved that aspect to it because, and secretly, mom will say she couldn't have all of us on different teams because that would have been crazy to get us to all those practices. Um, but being able to like play sports with your siblings is awesome. And I mean, Ella and I still laugh about like the car rides we had to basketball practice and just like the early mornings and stuff like that. Ella will say, she oftentimes watched instead of played, but it was still like just so fun to like share those locker room memories with each other. And I remember one time though, one game, Sunny was playing too. It was in high school, and all three of us were on the court at the same time, I believe. Maybe Sunny wasn't there. I don't know. My memory's fuzzy. I'll remember that it was all three of us on the court at the same time though. But no, being able to like share those experiences with your siblings is so much fun, and just the support I think that I got from my sisters is so unique. Especially being a triplet. I mean, the most common question I get is like, "Are you guys competitive with each other?" And the answer is the exact opposite. My sisters were my biggest cheerleaders and the most supportive people, and they love to see me succeed and play well just as much. I love to see them have a great game. So I think that's kind of unique. I feel like most twins or triplets kind of have a competitive edge against each other slightly, but we never had that, and I think that speaks probably a lot to our parents and the way that they raised us, and just the type of people that they are as well. So
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of times too, it's like, I want to beat you in the backyard or play
right.
pickup basketball in the cul-de-sac. But when we're out on the actual court, playing for Wyzetta or wherever it is,
Hmm.
like, well, first of all, we're teammates, so I want to
Right.
like I want to
Right.
win this game. So, like,
Exactly.
so maybe at home it was more competitive than actually
Hmm.
on the court where you guys are actually playing real games instead of the
Totally.
pickup game.
Totally.
Um, so yeah, you played eighth grade year at Wyzetta. You play all 4 years of high school too, and then you go on to the Naval Academy. Um, and we talked about that decision last time, so we won't.
Hmm.
If people haven't seen it, they can go back and watch the original one. Um,
We'll drop the link right
yeah,
here. That's what I
yeah,
always say. We'll drop the link.
it'll be down below too. It'll be down below too.
Subscribe.
Um, but the people see from the outside see the Army Navy rivalry in full force with the football game. Obviously, it's the standalone game, the only game played whatever week 13 or
Right.
whatever it is, and um, what was it like playing in that Army Navy rivalry, in a sport not football, that's not football, in basketball?
I would say that was the biggest game of the season. Regardless of how you're doing that year, if you won the Army Navy game, the season was a success. Um, so and the whole school rallies around that Army Navy game, regardless of the sport. Obviously, the football game is like the huge one that everyone attends, and it's so fun to be there, and I loved going. But playing in it in any sport at the academy, everyone that week knows like basketball's playing Army Navy, or lacrosse or whatever, name a sport. The brigade as a whole, typically that's the game that your friends or other midshipmen will attend, just because um, everyone likes to see Navy beat Army. So it's definitely a very fun atmosphere to play in, especially playing over at Army. Their gym is designed that everything echoes so loudly, and the student sections are kind of, it felt like a high school gym where you have like the students underneath both sides of the hoop. So when are shooting a free throw, and they actually, it was really cool. They always got their entire football team to go to our Army Navy basketball team or game. Um, so it was just a great atmosphere to play in, and that's kind of like the moments that you dream about and like live for. Obviously, it's not like we're playing in the Final Four of NCAA, but it's kind of like our Super Bowl, at least in
Yeah,
the Naval Academy basketball careers.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think too, like um looking at Sam too with now it doesn't exist anymore because St. Thomas went to D1, but
Tommy Johnny
like the
game.
Tommy Johnny rivalry too. And again,
Totally, totally.
that was like any sport. It's like no, just I don't like obviously the football one is the big one, but
Right,
just want to beat St. Thomas, or if you're a Tom, I just want
right.
to beat St. John's. Like it, like, um, but yeah. So having rivalries like that is
Totally.
makes college sports. That's what makes college sports fun at
Exactly.
any division level at any sport and um yeah.
No,
So
totally.
when you look back at your playing career, who had the biggest impact on it?
I don't know if I can just pick one person. I think the thing that's special is at all points of my basketball career, I've met so many people along the way that have impacted me in such a positive way and helped me throughout my entire basketball career. So, I mean, my original coaches when I first grew up playing basketball, like they developed me to just learn the game, understand the aspects of basketball, how it should be played, stuff like that. And then as I got into um, high school, I had great teammates surrounding me that just grew my love for the game. And we had so much fun just like playing AAU basketball and going away on tournaments. I had great AAU basketball coaches that supported me in my college search journey, being there and kind of having those conversations about what I wanted in life, what I wanted in basketball, and then into college, I had a great coach, Jimmy Colton, who was kind of the main guy who recruited me and was with me through my college career and the ups and downs of playing at Navy. And again, so many great teammates that were with me through my college career that made that experience so great. So I don't know if I can really pinpoint one person. And then on top of that, my family and extended family who have come to my games and supported me and always just been someone to cheer me on. So I literally don't think I can pick a biggest person because that would be unfair to the many people who have helped me get to what I'm doing now and helped me throughout my career. So I can't pinpoint. There's so many.
Yeah, for sure. So, um, this might look a little different, for you specifically, but what advice do you have for kids looking to play basketball after the high school level?
um I would say the biggest piece of advice, I think to are you saying to get to the college level or to like in
Yeah,
the college level?
I guess
To
I
get to
guess
the
either
college
one.
level, I could say this answers for both to get to the college level and while you're in the college level, but to continue to find joy in why you're playing the sport. I think oftentimes, and I felt this too, like you can get in the stress of like trying to be recruited, going to camps, like all these things, and it's changed so much since I've been recruited. I can't even imagine what it's like to try to be recruited these days. Um, but to find the joy in why like you play the sport because you like playing it. And if you lose sight of that, I think it doesn't really become as much fun. So uh, find the joy in getting better, working hard with your teammates, because that's the stuff that I remember now. Now looking back, I mean, when I played high school feels like forever ago now. But the things that I remember are like the bus rides, and everyone always talks about the locker room and the funny things. Like I could not tell you a record. I couldn't tell you like specific memories of like actual plays. I think I remember like one play of high school, or like a couple game, like how it felt. Not necessarily like the details. So if you continue to just like remember why you like the sport, I think that helps make your experience better. I don't know if that was a good
Yeah.
answer, but
No, that's we had Teddy Dieters on, the outfielder for the Creighton baseball team, and
mhm.
he was saying something similar because you'd been talking about you have to sacrifice things as a student athlete, and he was like, if you don't love the game, why are you sacrificing like
Right,
a night
totally.
out to go do homework because you had practice all day and you can't go out with your friends? Like if you don't love the game, why are you sacrificing
Exactly. Totally.
anything else? So,
Teddy Dieters probably said it way better than I did.
uh, but yeah, so now you're um in the Navy, you're doing some field train, like your post Naval
Yes.
Academy training. What lessons were you able to take from specifically your playing career and implementing them into the professional career after college?
No, that's a great question because I've honestly the further I've gotten into um, so I'm in flight school training right now for the Navy, and I'm flying helicopters, TH-73 little trainer helicopters. And I would say the more time I've spent in flight school, the more I have realized how much sports has kind of helped me and how much it correlates to flying. Um, biggest things, I think, importance of detail, I think, is one of the greatest lessons that I think in basketball, just details of discipline, like getting up early to work out and lift, details of like, how do we execute a play correctly? How do you set a specific screen to get your teammate open at the perfect angle? How do perfect your shooting form, changing little details here and there that can make a really big difference in your outcomes. And in flight school, there's so many small details of when we pre-flight the aircraft and inspect the aircraft before we go flying. Like we want to make sure that the fuel bypass thing isn't popped, because if we take off and that's popped, it could be a bad day. And so we always talk about in aviation kind of the Swiss cheese model of bad things happen when smaller things have happened and lead to a bigger problem. Um, and kind of just like in sports, one missed shot at the end of the game isn't the reason that you lost the game. And or one bad play, or foul at the end of the game, and they shoot 2 free throws to win. That's not what lost you the game. What lost you the game was so many small decisions prior to that. And that's kind of how flying is. Like there's so many things that happen within a flight, and hopefully we mitigate those small things before they add up to become anything that could be a bad day. So those are kind of just like overarching lessons that I see, that I've reflected. And then the teamwork aspect in flying is huge. That's why I love flying helicopters, because I got another um, instructor right now next to me, but hopefully one day it will be another winged aviator that has two brains are better than one, I guess. So we'll be flying that thing together. So the teamwork aspect and being able to communicate and execute the mission with them and reach our end goal is just like playing on the court with your friends and hoping for a win. So yeah, I think there's a lot of correlation there for sure.
Right, right. Yeah, I do think that's one of my biggest pet peeves with sports. It's like, well, you missed the shot at the end of the game and that lost you. It's like, well, you missed a shot in the first quarter too. Like,
Exactly.
did that lose you? Like that, you could have pointed that singular shot too, and like,
Mhm.
so yeah,
Everyone always remembers the last one.
yeah, yeah.
But
Um, so again, like you said, you're um, training to be a naval helicopter pilot.
yes.
What went into the decision to fly helicopters over other types of aircrafts?
So it was partly my decision, but mostly the Navy's. We do primary flight training where we fly the T6 Bravo, which is a fixed wing aircraft. And so I did about 8 months of flying that. And at the end of that, I got to put in my preferences of what I wanted to fly. And then ultimately, the Navy tells you what you will fly. So, based on how you do throughout that primary flight training, the Navy will say, hey, you get to fly helicopters, you'll fly jets, you fly P-8s. So the really cool thing is I have friends now flying a bunch of different things. So um, I really, really am happy that I got helicopters, and I think that I will continue to enjoy it. I've enjoyed it so far. I'm very low on the totem pole, super early in the training. I've only flown a handful of times, but I'm sure my career will, you know, start before I know it. And I feel like I've been in flight school for forever, but um, no, it's really fun, and I've really enjoyed learning about the helicopter because it is different than a fixed wing aircraft. So that has had its own exciting new things, but also like kind of challenging new things to learn as well. So
Yeah, for sure, and that does make sense. Um, these are very expensive machines that I'm sure they're like, and paid for by taxpayers, so I'm sure they don't want
exactly, and yet they let me fly them.
don't want to somehow wait, have some unnecessary damage done if they can
Exactly.
limit that. It's your the small things all lead to bigger problems. If you can mitigate the
Exactly.
small things, then yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, they make sure we know what we're doing before we get in them. So
Yeah. So again, for your own safety and the
exactly.
safety of other people too, it's probably a good idea. Uh,
Yes.
so when you're not like either on duty or you know training,
Hmm.
what's your favorite way to just relax?
I mean, the beach in Florida is awesome. So being from Minnesota, I still am a lake girl though. I I like enjoy the beach, and it feels like vacation because being from Minnesota, we only saw the beach when we were on spring break or something like that. So it feels super weird to be living in a place where I can drive 15, 20 minutes and be on vacation.
Or is the little small beach at like Minnetonka or something like that, where it's like that many
Right,
minutes?
exactly, exactly. So, I would say I enjoy going to the beach with friends. I actually joined I know we're talking about basketball, but I joined a adult soccer league that I play in on Sundays. We had our first win yesterday, so that was a really big deal. Um, but no, I feel like I stay busy. I host pizza nights. I try to, I don't know, find a balance because studying in flight school is pretty all encompassing. And like I said, when I did that first kind of flight school training, I didn't do the best job of work life balance. So this second go around, I'm trying to be better and have a better balance in my life. But yeah, so I'd say the beach, working out, reading. I'm trying to get into reading. Um, but yeah, there's fun things to do in Florida. It's always pretty nice out. So
Yeah, and it's probably a good thing too that the um, military members aren't super tightly wound, and they can
yeah,
have some time to relax. And
yeah. There's a good balance, I'd say. Just like any company, you get a mixed bag of every type of person, and so the military definitely has a mixed bag of every type of person
yeah,
as well.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it's nice to hear, you're still finding certain ways to compete too with soccer and
I know it's kind of crazy going back and playing. I played soccer only until my freshman year of high school, and I just forgot how hard soccer is. Like I was like I had to go buy cleats because I didn't have any cleats. And so I went to the store, bought like the cheapest pair I could find. And it brought me back to the days of like going to Dick's Sporting Goods and like looking at, the wall of shoes. And I was always a Kobe. I liked playing in the Kobe's. But and I think I played in the KD's. But it brought me back to like
Yeah.
going to the store with mom and dad and getting a new pair of basketball shoes. But now I'm wearing soccer cleats, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So we got final question for you here. Um, and it's similar to one I asked earlier. Um, what is the biggest piece of advice you have for those contemplating military service, and whether that be going through um, like an actual one of the academies
Mhm.
or an ROTC program, or just
Yeah,
enlisting without that?
yeah. I would say the biggest thing that I always tell recruited athletes that talk to me going to wanting to go to Navy or play at Navy, is I always told them if you got hurt and you couldn't play a sport at the Naval Academy, would you still want to be there? Like, why do you want to go to the Naval Academy? And if it's only to play a sport, then maybe you should consider a different school, because ultimately going to that school means that you will commission and become a Marine Corps or naval officer. And then you are in charge of leading sailors and Marines beyond your college career. So um, I always looked at, I got to go to the Naval Academy and was blessed to be able to play basketball on top of that. So I think that that's the way I look at it, is if you want to serve and you want to be a part of the academy, or the military, to me feels like one big team. So um, if you want to be a part of that team and be a part of that mission, I think the military is awesome, and I've enjoyed my experience. There are days that are better than some, but for the most part, the people that I've met and the friends that I've made are lifelong friends that are off doing super cool things. And um, so it'll be fun to talk. I talked to them, and one's off. She had her first ride in a. She was flying the jet. First flight in a jet. I had another friend who just got back from deployment, and she was out in South Africa on a ship. So it's like crazy
Yeah.
that my friends from college are off doing these things, but it's so fun to talk to them and hear about their experiences and learn from them at the same time. So yeah, I've enjoyed it. And if that's a big team that you want to be a part of, you should join it too.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you for taking the time today, um, and yeah, sitting down to chat
Thanks
with.
for having me back, Charlie.
Massive thank you to Mimi Schrader for taking the time to sit down and talk today. We wish her the best in helicopter training. Thank you to those who watched this episode. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out a lot. Comment down below someone you want to see on the show. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.